air right here that makes your eyes perspire. Just understand that's what that is. So talking about growing up in our household, it's actually something I do almost every day. At this point in my life, I've been pursuing a career as a public speaker for nearly 10 years. Now, for those of you that knew me as a child, that's pretty difficult to imagine, because I'm hysterically shy. How many of you know shy people that get scared and don't know what they're going to say? And I remember my first lesson as a speaker, I joined the hospitality committee at Cascade United Methodist Church. Now, at the time, I didn't know that was unusual, but it was that everybody in the hospitality committee would stand up and do the welcome, and they were grown, and I thought it was impressive. And Mom was on the hospitality committee, so as a 10-year-old, I was going to do the welcome. Had my nice three-piece suit, got up there and realized it was almost my turn on the program. And I nudged Mom, I was like, Mom, I can't think of it. I can't remember what I'm supposed to say. Mom said, don't worry. They don't know what you're supposed to say either. So I got up, I said what I said, they were all welcome. But from then on, at least that fear of them not knowing what I was supposed to say, I could erase that. And then I remember another time, actually I remember the exact date of this, it's June 30th, 1979. I was ecstatic because Mama had us all ready, we were gonna go and ride a big ride. And they've been talking about it on the news. It went up high, went down low. It had subterranean levels, 60 miles per hour, sometimes in reverse. And I was going to be the first person I knew that was going to ride the big ride. Now, those of you that remember, June 30th, 1979 was one of those smeltering hot days. You know the word smeltering? Yes. It's made up. It's where your shoes melt into the asphalt while you're slugging through the parking lot. But we got in the line, we were getting ready to ride the ride, and as soon as, that morning I woke up wide-eyed, electrified. I was excited, we were going to ride the big ride. But by the time it got to be our turn and the line diminished and we were up next, I grabbed Mama by the leg. I was like, Mama, I don't want to ride this ride. And she said, she got down on my love. She said, okay, Rick, it's going to be all right. Don't worry. The ride is going to go fast, it's going to go up high, it's going to go down low, and you will be the first person you know that gets a chance to go. But if you don't take that ride, you'll never go. So I got it together, got on the ride. We rode up and down, we went fast, we went slow, I even got in the seat that went backwards. Now y'all are thinking, what ride is this? Is mine in the spring machine? June 30, 1979, that was the first MARTA train ride. But at least I learned a lesson. There's nothing to be afraid of in what you don't know. And if you never go, you won't know. And then I have one last important lesson I want to share that I give both of them credit for, but I actually learned from Dad. And it's just overcoming the power of no. Because it turns out in my life I've had a whole lot of no, but I've gotten a whole lot more yeses because I asked the question people were afraid to ask. And it was all around my arrival at Duke University. See, I grew up right around here. And right around here, it's easy to be comfortable and know everybody. As a matter of fact, I was only a theoretical minority until I got to Duke. That was the first time I got to a place where I didn't know anybody and no one knew me. And we'd already established our patterns. We have Sunday check-in calls. When do we check in? Sunday. Called on my first Sunday just with that feeling like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know anybody, and they don't know me. And he said, well, Rick, that's true for everybody there. And if you can just be that person that extends a hand to connect people to one another, you'll be the most brilliant person they know. And it was that ongoing lesson. He said, boy, you're smart, but it doesn't matter what you know, but it's who you know and how they feel about you that'll take you your furthest in life. So I went out there and started shaking hands and introducing myself. My name is Richard, and I'm from Atlanta. And it was one of those things. It was weird for them too, because they didn't know anybody. Nobody had been introduced to them. But overcoming that fear, and Daddy said, just think about it, Rick. If you go over to this young lady and say, "Hi, my name is Rick. What's your name?" "Paul." Only two things could happen right now. She could say her name and be friendly, or she could give me a DEFCON or ooh, honey. But no matter what happened, the worst thing that could happen was already happening. I didn't know her. I didn't have a friend. I didn't have a name, but now I do. Does that make sense? Yeah. And that ability to walk up, overcome the fear of shaking a hand, of asking the question, knowing that if you don't, the worst thing that can happen is already happening by default. That's how we win 99% of the time. And I thank you both for the lessons you taught me in life. They taught me a long way. And I tell other people about you, and they think I'm smart. Y'all give it